Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Plastech Month 2025. Today's session is entitled Green Technologies and Recycling Innovations. My name is Sujata, and I'll be your MC for this morning. Apologies for the video just now. It seemed that you could hear the sound, but you couldn't. The video was just, it just froze. I was not moving. So let me begin. So Plastech Month 2025 is organized by MPMA. It's a month-long virtual conference that continues the momentum started in 2021. Some of you would have participated, and some of you would have known that in 2021, during the pandemic, we started Plastech. And this year, the theme is shaping tomorrow's plastics from advanced materials to smart processes. And the 2025 edition, unlike the 2021, brings together global and industry experts via a curated series of 7 webinars in total. And the topics of the webinars are such as smart manufacturing, advanced materials, recycling, circular economy, automation, and regulatory compliances. And this year's webinar aims to drive sustainability and innovation across the plastics value chain, responding to both market challenges and environmental imperatives. So before we dive into the webinar, just a quick housekeeping points. If you notice on your screen the webinar etiquette, we've muted the microphones and turned off the cameras of all the participants so that the speakers can present without interruptions. If you have questions, please drop your questions into the Q&A box, and our speakers or the secretariat will respond to these questions, and those questions who are clearly related and clearly written and in relation to the presentation. So make sure that your questions are clearly written. The chat box is not for promoting your products or services. Please do not comment on other participants' questions. It's just meant for presentation-related queries. And finally, the organizers may remove those participants who don't follow these guidelines. So thank you, everyone, for just keeping things running smoothly, and let's get started. The MPMA Plastech Month 2025 is proudly presented by MPMA with the generous support of our sponsors from the Malaysian plastics industry. A big thank you to all of them from MPMA, and I would like to mention our gold sponsor, who is Petronas Chemicals Group Berhad, our silver sponsors, Alliance Bank Malaysia Berhad, Arbuk Sendirian Berhad, Control Union Malaysia Sendirian Berhad, Clarion Singapore Private Limited, Data Color Asia Pacific Hong Kong Limited, Angle, ExxonMobil Chemical Malaysia Sendirian Berhad, Fangsheng Machinery Company Limited, Haitian Huashuan Singapore Private Limited, Kohli Printing and Converting Machines Private Limited, Makai, Miro, Monitor ERP Systems, Southeast Asia, Caderic Machinery Company Limited, and other sponsors include Janushka Malaysia Sendirian Berhad, Kempf Jagenberg Group, Reifenhauser Asia Pacific Company Limited. Thank you to all our sponsors for helping make MPMA Plastech Month 2025 possible. Now, could I get all the speakers and moderator to please turn on your video for the group photograph? Could we have the speakers and moderator please turn on your cameras? Thank you. So can we get one of the secretariat staff to just take the group photograph? So in a count of 3, I think everybody just smile and we'll take the group photograph. So 1, 2, 3, smile. One more, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, thank you everyone. So let's begin. Without further ado, let me introduce our moderator for this morning's session. He is none other than Mr. Zamri Din. Please welcome our moderator, Mr. Zamri Din. He is a General Manager of Operations Services at Stantaf Lims with a degree in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from the University of Toledo and over 32 years of industry experience, including roles at NEC and 3M. Zamri is a certified ESG and sustainability practitioner, a certified human resource manager, as well as a certified Six Sigma belt. Since joining Stantaf Lims in 2012, He has led major improvement initiatives, and now he drives the company's ESG sustainability management program. Mr. Din, the floor is yours. Zamri, over to you.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Sujata. Very, very good morning to everyone joining us today for the MPMA Plastic Month 2025 session. Today's webinar topic basically is on green technologies and recycling innovation. This is the fifth webinar this year, organized during this Plastic Month out of the total 7 that MPMA has lined up. I do hope that to those that has been participating in other webinars, you have gained good insights on all the topics that has been shared by the speakers. For this morning, we have engaging program lineup featuring expert speakers who will share their insights relevant to the title of our webinar. This is how we basically going to run the webinar for today. There will be 3 speakers presenting on 3 different topics. The first topic will be titled the Closing the Loop, Advanced Plastic Recycling Technologies, going to be presented by Mr. Heinz Bongest, followed by the second topic, which is going to be on Sustainability Made Simple, Managing Chemical, CBAM, and Renewable Materials in Monitor in RP, that will be presented by Mr. Daniel Hegmark. And the third one, and the final one, the topic will be Sustainable Plastics and Color Management, Leveraging Spectrophotometry for a Greener Future, that will be presented by Mr. Leong Yong Jian. And finally, before we end the session, we're going to have the group photo plus poll, followed by closing. Without further delay, let's start with our first speaker. Our first speaker is Mr. Heinz Bongest, Managing Director of Lambang Pasti Sdn Bhd Malaysia. Lambang Pasti is the agent for Fang Sheng Machinery. He brings extensive experience in plastics recycling technology, I think over than 40 years of experience, closely with global partners to develop advanced and efficient recycling system used across many industries. Today, he'll be again sharing insights on closing the loop through innovative recycling technologies. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Heinz Bongest. Mr. Bongest, the floor is yours. I think you are on mute. Yep, you good.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, good morning. Thanks very much, Mr. Samri, for the nice introduction. As you said, I'm a German engineer with background from plastic manufacturing. I have also, sorry, there's some dogs barking outside. I've also experienced in recycling, but that was 30 years ago. The world was different. Myself a bit of a pioneer. Quite impressive. What is this? Something starts hanging. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear. We can hear you. Yeah.
Why is the?
But we can't see you.
The video is gone.
Yeah,
okay,
correct.
sorry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. I had some experience with plastic recycling. That was about 30 years ago. The world was different. I was quite impressed to see how things have developed meanwhile. I'm making this presentation on behalf of Jürgen Schnitzer. My apologies that he cannot do it himself. He's the export manager for Fang Sheng Machinery. In China, he used to work with a German recycling company before. That's when we met some 7 or 8 years ago. He's unfortunately in an airplane today on the way back from India. I'll have it on his behalf. I hope I can still answer your questions. There will be opportunity to contact us directly. There will also be opportunity to meet Mr. Schnitzer and me personally. He will be coming to Malaysia this Sunday. So next week we're going to have a few appointments, and whoever is interested in more information is welcome to contact me for a visit. So again, German engineer, used to work in production until 2014. In Malaysia since 2011. 2014, I started my own business, trying to sell machines from Germany first. I found it difficult in the local market because of the pricing. So I was a bit reluctant to go for Chinese machines. Only when Mr. Jürgen Schnitzer approached me this year, I started cooperation, and again, I'm quite impressed. May I share the presentation with you? Just a minute.
Yeah. Can you put on the slides?
Okay, you can see it.
No, not yet.
See the presentation. Is it coming or not? Let me see. Is it not showing?
No, it's not showing.
Wait a minute.
Can you try it again?
Okay. Here. Wait.
Yes, something is coming on.
Is it coming?
Okay, yeah, it's on.
Okay.
Can you show full screen, please, Mr. Heinz Bongers?
Yeah, just a minute.
Yes, put full screen. Go to slideshow on the top. Slideshow. Yeah, on the top.
Yeah.
Go to the top. You can see the file edit view. Go to the top.
It's here.
Go to the top there, and then on your right, there's slideshow. Go to your right some more. All the way to your right, there's a slideshow.
No,
further down. Further to your right, Mr. Bongers.
Wait.
Yeah.
No. Something is fooling me here.
No, you go further to your right.
Sorry for this. Why is it not?
No. You go.
Here.
Go all the way to your top. Go all the way to the top of the screen. You can see
the top of the screen.
There you can see file, edit, view, insert, format.
Now only I got it. Okay.
Slideshow.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good job. Good job.
It was fooling me. So welcome to listen. Will be a short company introduction, the main products, service, and about the market. First, the Jiangsu Fangsheng Machinery Co. Ltd. Established in 2006, so means over 18 years of experience in waste plastic recycling, based in the Jiangsu province. This is east of Nanjing. About 25,000 square meters production with 80 employees, exporting to more than 80 countries worldwide. It's a family business. They have a focus on quality recycling rather than selling cheap machines. So European quality at Taiwan prices is the philosophy. Show 3 production halls. The one is for the washing lines. You see silos here, you see grinders and feeding, swim zinc, separation. The second business area is pelletizing. That means extruders with a pre-compactor, like the ERIMA system you might know. Then the third is the production workshop. 95% of their machinery are made in-house, not bought. The motors are Siemens, the bearings NSK or FAG, the gearboxes SEW, electronics is Siemens. And the technology has been developed by Europeans for the washing lines. who found it too expensive to produce things like this in Europe. For the extruders, the knowledge has been coming from German engineers. There's a painting workshop also, and accessories like spare parts. The main products, again, washing lines. It's not just one machine, complete lines, and the pelletizing machines. So washing lines, it turned out, as I said, I had some experience in recycling. The technology has developed a lot meanwhile. There's a lot of washing and separation processes involved in the multi-step operation, and it's a lot different for each material. So I wouldn't say each line is custom made for customer, but it's very much depending on the requirement, on the type of material, whether film or bottles, then on the degree of dirt, of other material involved. So a lot of different technologies like PE film, agricultural film, stretch film, banana film, woven bags, fabrics, fishing nets, milk bottles, jumbo bags, raffia, all this can be recycled. See some example here. Again, I'm doing this presentation on Mr. Schnitzer's behalf. Cannot go too much into details, but you see a feeding station with a metal detector. There's a manual sorting band involved, a pre-wash with also separation of heavy things like stones, yeah, or metal parts. There is, right? There is some granulator. If you can see it, the granulator is bought from CMG Italy. Then you see a swim zinc separation. You know, the polyolefins like PE, PP are lighter than water. They will swim while all other plastic is going to the ground. This is the way to separate the one from the other. Then there's friction washers to remove things like the labels, yeah, to clean up further. Finally, you have a dryer and a filling station, typically for the higher output that we're talking here. You will put it into special silos suitable for regrind material. The output of such a line, the minimum is something like 500 kg per hour. The maximum is 4.5, even up to 6 tons per hour. This is just one example. Like for bottles and pipes. See another one, see the bottle washing line. You see the swim zinc separators again. They are pre-washing and manual sorting, which in a lot of cases cannot fully be avoided. We can also offer like color sorting or other sorting devices, metal separators. Then there's an example of a bottle-to-bottle washing line. You see the silo stations, you see the swim zinc separators at the pipe bottom, granulator. Here's one example of the washing line. Let me see. You see that's quite a big output. That one is, I think, the one in Indonesia for up to 6 tons per hour with silos, with parallel and with friction washers. Some lines, if necessary, they use steam for the cleaning instead of just water for having a better efficiency. That is for the washing lines. Then we have the pelletizing lines for film, agricultural, stretch film, industrial film. EPE, woven bags, and packaging films. These things you might know from other suppliers. Again, the technology brought into China from German engineers. They have, you can also recycle polyamide and PET. Advantages again, this is quality oriented, not so much trying to sell the cheapest. So the equipment is all made from stainless steel, not using cheap steel painted with silver color. The lifespan, the quality of production is an advantage. And they also have something like 20 engineers in after sales to help you get the things settled if there's any issues. Service, again, something like 20 plus engineers. Every machine is tested. There's a pre-commissioning in-house before being delivered to the customer. The engineers do the overseas installation, after-sales service, 24 hours online support, and spare parts in the warehouse. The market, some examples, selling to the UK, New Zealand, Ecuador, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia. 40% still sold inside China. Some 60% of the machines go into export. In total, 1,500 lines sold worldwide in operation. One customer in Brazil alone bought 20 washing lines already. There's a chance to visit customers in Indonesia with film as well as with bottle recycling. We have 2 machines running in Malaysia, which might be a problem because they may have a competition, freer competition. So, but there's a chance always to visit the Indonesian customer, also, of course, to visit the factory in China. So again, there's a chance to meet me and Mr. Jürgen Schnitzer personally. He will be here next week. For me, again, so some final words from my experience. I was very impressed how the technology has developed. In Germany, 30 years ago, when we did this pilot, they were closing the dump sites. Nowadays, you don't have dump sites anymore. In Malaysia, still most of the plastic waste goes into landfill, which to me is a bit scary. So I hope to do my bit of contributing to saving the environment and getting a bit of a better image to plastic by helping to install recycling capacity here in Malaysia, which is necessary, I might say. Okay, I hope this was not too short, and I hope I can answer all your questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Heinz Bangas, for that highly informative presentation and the great insights into technologies and how advanced recycling technologies are reshaping circularity in plastics.
Encik Zamri, hang on a minute. Mr. Bongas, can you stop share, please?
Yeah.
Just stop share. Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Encik
Mr.
Zamri, you can. Thank you.
All right. We will now take some questions from the participants. From the chat box, I do not see any open questions coming in.
There are no questions.
Okay, maybe I'll ask Mr. Heinz 1 or 2 questions.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay. You know, in recycling, I think the biggest challenge is basically the input material before we regranulate, in terms of the material separation and also the cleanliness of the material. So, based on your experience and the current technologies that we have coming up with, now how do we manage these two aspects of material separation of the different type of material plus the cleanliness of the material?
Yeah, of course, it all starts with the collection. We're talking about production waste. It's not that much of a problem, but still you find stones, or you're talking about Germany, you find beer caps. We found a lot of things that wouldn't belong there, even in the production waste. We did recycling, some trials with post-consumer waste, yeah, but that was quite a bit of a mess. That you see why these washing lines become so complex and have so many components. But of course, it starts with the collection, with some education. You can never avoid to have a bit of a mix, yeah. So when we talk about output, to be more precise, we need to mention input. If a machine is made for 500 kg per hour, that means the input. You will in fact have some losses in terms of the material that you have to separate, yeah, like those things that wouldn't have belonged into it from the first place. Yeah. I was a bit shocked to see that certain parts of Malaysia, like the KL area, they have a waste separation already. Here in Ipoh, where I live, still waste is all going into one bin. Yeah. And only certain things are collected. I put it outside in a bag, so like cans or the cardboard things are collected by people because they still get money for it. For plastics, unfortunately, the gap between recycled material and the raw material is not that much. Still have to sell the recycling material cheap, and seeing that complex technology, it's not easy to run this in a way that it pays off. Yeah, it's quite an effort to do, to be honest. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you
I hope
for
this
that.
answered your questions. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that has been a challenge when it comes to the material separation. I think it's something that we keep on pursuing how to manage that part. We got a second questions coming in from the participants from Mr. BK Chong. The question from Mr. BK Chong is he would like to know who are the two customers in your Malaysia and what type of recycling line do they have?
We have one bottle recycling and one film recycling. One is in Ipoh and one is in Kleng. You're free. I don't know whether you have my contact information, like my email. Mr. BK Chong, you're free to contact me by email or by WhatsApp, and I will share with you. Yeah.
Okay. I think we can provide more information, the details of Mr. Heinz, at the end of the webinar. The second question, again coming from Mr. BK. The question is, there is any method to inspect or check the recycling resin?
There are ways to check. I've seen one interesting development in Germany. Some guy has developed a small extruder to run blown film. We're talking about blown film.
Yeah.
And he's having a camera system to do a gel count. So this system is used to categorize the recycling quality in terms of the gel count. Yeah, you can say this is A grade, this is a B grade, or whatever. You can rate your material, so you get the feedback before running it into big scale production and seeing too many gels or whatever happening. Yeah. So this would be a way to have a small like lab extruder to do trials and gel count.
Also, plus if you can also if you want to take a look or check the MF5, you basically can also get yourself a rheology meter as well. Correct, Mr. Heinz?
Yeah, use lab equipment for testing the properties, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume the good recyclers, they have their lab and they test before doing it. I know PET recycler, he can even tell you the food grade quality or not and other properties. He's meanwhile becoming lab expert, you know, because customers need that information.
We do not have any more questions coming in. So again, thank you, Mr. Hans Bonges, for the presentation as well, and also answering the questions by our participants. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks very much.
Okay, moving on to the second topic. The second topic will be on sustainability made simple, managing chemical CBAM and renewable materials in Monitor ERP. Our next speaker is Mr. Daniel Heidmark, the Chief Executive Officer of Monitor ERP System Southeast Asia. Mr. Heidmark leads Monitor expansion throughout the region and has helped over 200 manufacturing companies to adopt Monitor's award-winning ERP solutions. He is deeply involved in advancing sustainability-focused digitalization, enabling smarter and greener manufacturing practices. Today, Mr. Heidmark will be sharing how chemical CBAM and sustainable materials can be effectively managed through ERP. Please welcome Mr. Daniel Heidmark. All
Thank you very
yours,
much.
Mr. Daniel. Yep.
Good morning, everyone. You hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Yeah, great. Then I start to share my screen. There. And I do a test before I continue. When I switch, you can see the system here now, right? And the slides here.
Yes.
Yeah, great. All right. So now I have more time maybe since we were a bit short on the first presentation, or?
More time now.
Let's see. Okay. So thank you very much. And I have a presentation regarding sustainability by Monitor. So some of you might wonder what have an ERP system to do with sustainability reporting, but it's actually the main tool you need. So I will try to explain the background and so on, how we got it into our system and how we help our customers with this. So first, a bit of myself, maybe. I have lived in Malaysia for 13 years soon, so I'm pretty local. I came here actually, I would say, thanks to MPMA. So I found some old pictures here, which I thought was fun to share. 2012, I came to Penang and met Willie Tan. I guess many of you know him. He was the chairman in the Northern branch previously, also the founder and managing director back then of PDI, Prestige Dynamic Industries. So they were our first customer, signed with us 2012. Back then it was only me here in Malaysia, so Willie and Travis was pretty brave, I would say, to go into Monitor when we didn't exist here. But so in 2013, our group CEO also came here and had a dinner there in the picture with Willie. I found another one from MPMA dinner in Penang in 2014. So over the years, we have a lot of good friends in MPMA. I think we have around 40 customers probably that are MPMA members. I know some is watching now. Mr. Ivan in Secoplas. Quite early as well, I think 2018 or something. Mr. Callum, I guess many of you know from LH Plus, FK Lee from Ma Sing, and many more. Today's topic is sustainability, and I would like to share the history a bit. So Monitor is a Swedish company founded more than 50 years ago. 50% of manufacturing companies in Sweden use our system. And as many of you might be aware, Sweden are kind of the top when it comes to sustainability and the driver in Europe in this. So Sweden was very early in setting regulations and standards and so on. And since we have 50% market share in Sweden, when this came up around 5 years ago, our customers start to contact us and needed help. So that's why we started this project, I think around 4 or 5 years ago, to see how we could help our customers with this reporting and all the regulations and calculating CO2 emissions. So as you might be aware, it's coming a lot of different standards: REACH, SKIP, IMDS, CBAM. I know CBAM is not including plastic products right now, but sooner or later it will, I guess. So for an example, and I would like to stress this, what we have learned from Sweden and Europe market is that it's not just about these regulations and certificates. It is really about surviving in your business, because in Sweden, if I take as an example, I think it's a good practical example. Everyone knows Volvo, I guess. It's a Swedish car brand now owned by Geely, though, but still all the R&D and head office and everything is run by Sweden still. I think Volvo have a few hundred suppliers in Sweden, and majority of those suppliers use our software, the whole ERP system. So when the big companies like Volvo were required to start to report their emissions, the whole supply chain is of course affected. So this is the background why we started this, and how we have seen the pressure and the must from smaller SMEs in Sweden that are in the automotive supply chain, how they are required to report their emissions. And if they cannot report their emissions to customers like Volvo, they cannot be a supplier to Volvo. Or if you produce furniture to IKEA or whatever it might be. And this, I think, many of our customers in Malaysia also start to feel. I talked with someone from Matrade that went to some fair, like maybe Hannover Messen in Germany with some Malaysia companies. And there they were also quite shocked how companies in Europe start to ask for certificates and things from the Malaysia suppliers. I guess you start to feel it and see it more and more. There are a lot of different standards and things. One is ESRS, that is the main in Sweden. Now I use Sweden as an example, but it's similar in most countries. They might be called a little bit different. But basically, I think in most that we see, bigger companies need to start to report. And sooner or later, also the smaller SMEs need to report. So for Sweden, it has been since 2025, and now slowly coming for all companies need to report. And then there are a few different standards, greenhouse protocol, scope 1, 2, 3, I guess all are aware. And you need to report this in a certain manner. So that's why they have different reporting standards and reporting directives. One that I put into this because I think is quite relevant is called CBAM. And this is also if you export to Europe. EU have a regulation to put fair price on carbon emissions embedded in imported goods. And I think this is quite relevant for Malaysia because the goal for EU is to prevent carbon leakage, meaning that companies moving production to countries with weaker climate rules. So to ensure imports face similar carbon costs as EU-made goods. So impact for manufacturers exporting to the EU is that if you export goods in certain sectors, I know plastic is not there yet, but for example, electronics, you need to report or show your emission data. They need the data from you. And this have been a transitional phase until end of this year, and now beginning of 2026, it kicks in for real, meaning importers must buy CBAM certificates, and certificates reflect the carbon footprint on the imported goods. So how is this important to you if you export to EU? Is that you have to report or show your emissions. You need to start to track your emissions so you can report it to your customers in EU. Otherwise, you cannot sell to your customers in EU. So it's quite important if you are an exporter. When we started to do the pre-study together with our customers in Sweden around 4 years ago, they all came back with the same stories, kind of. Without the system for it, it's very difficult to get the quality, and very resource incentives and time consuming and bad overview to collect and report all this data. So when we start to look at it, all data needed is already inside a manufacturing ERP system like Monitor, because I jump here maybe. Now I use a chair as an example. It's quite easy. I could have changed to a plastic product, but it's the same. Inside a product, you have raw materials. You have how do you produce. Inside an ERP system, you have every step from purchase to sales, meaning you have the raw materials, you have all the production steps, you have how long time it takes for each production step, what resources needed. We have the supplier information, distance to suppliers, and different overheads. So if you run the system already today, all this data is already there. So what we need to do is to add on one more layer with some information to be able to calculate the CO2 emissions. So you can say that in the same way as you calculate the price of your product, you also calculate your CO2 emissions at the same time. So first step for our development was to create so we can calculate the CO2 on component level down in your products. So we can calculate down on child part level how much emissions does each component have. Next phase was to be able to support all different reportings that we need. There are a lot of requirements of different reports that you need to show, but that's the simple part, I would say. So that's where we are right now. I plan to jump into the system, and I hope I can do this simple enough now. So we don't get too technical, but we need to be a little bit technical. But see this as how to say, a bit eye-opener, or in the system, you already have all your basic data. Okay. For example, you have customers, suppliers, manufacturing, you have your BOM and routing, you do your planning, you report manufacturing orders, you have subcontractors, everything. Here we have added into our standard system the sustainability part. So it's not a separate system or anything. Each step
Daniel,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but the images is not appearing in the slide. Try it again. What you just did, try again.
My system, you mean?
Yeah, it didn't appear.
Okay. I reshare then. We do like this.
Yeah. Maybe you reshare.
Yeah. I think there is the system, right?
Yes, now we can see the system.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Okay, I repeat a little bit. Inside a manufacturing ERP system like Monitor, you have the different modules, customers, suppliers, you have all the part numbers, you have your manufacturing, BOM and routing, you have your manufacturing orders, you do calculations, production planning, subcontractors. So we added in sustainability into the standard system. So in all the parts of the system, we now have sustainability related functionality. So it's not a separate module or separate system. It's baked in the same processes or functions that you use daily today. It automatically start to report and collect sustainability data. And this is also because it needs to be efficient. We cannot ask our customers to employ sustainability officers or whatever. So down on the production floor, when someone report production output, we will start to collect sustainability data to calculate and so on. So if we start with the product, now I use the chair. This could have been whatever item, but since a chair is quite easy to picture, we use that. In the master data, you have, of course, all the data related to planning, prices, whatever. Here we have also added in sustainability. So this is a manufactured item, meaning the system have calculated the emissions for this item. If I look on a screw, for example, that's a purchased item, which I buy from this supplier and so on. The sustainability data for a screw comes from different registers. So my screw here belongs to a material type, carbon steel, which have certain emission. And regarding CBAM and part content, you also have different information like how much recycled aluminum or plastic does this part contain. So to add basic data into your master data in the system, we can do very simple things, nice things. If I open a BOM and routing, everyone knows what the BOM and routing is, I guess, if you are in manufacturing. To produce this chair, I do certain steps and I need certain materials. So now this is a breakdown. I have two levels. I have the top level where I do the assembly and I need some legs and I need some seat. These are also manufactured items. So to produce the seat, I need some leather and some steel. Each of these materials are, of course, linked to certain emission types and so on. This machine or resource, this is a manual assembly, also have, I know how long time it takes for every process. In that way, I can know how much electricity I need for every step, because I can add different basic data to all my machine and resources as well. So for my leg, I have bending, for example, which will take 2 minutes per piece. I need some steel pipe. So to have this, I can easily now calculate how much emissions does this chair contribute. Before I do that, I also want to show a little bit more of basic data. So I mean, it's all about basic data, and this is a one-time job. Of course, maybe you need to update a little bit, maintain, but the beauty, I would say, is once we have added this basic data that we need, all the other things, the calculations, the reportings, is automatically done. So I would add some different material types, and this will be different from different customers. But for MPMA, we will have, of course, different plastic types, different resins. And this data is available through different standard registers. You also have different emission types, because when you calculate scope 3, you also need to include, say, hotel and IT hardware and things. These also have their emissions. So this I just need to tell the system a little bit. Where do I collect it? What different types do I have? I also need to tell what energy sources do I have. Do I have full solar power, or do I have from the grid? All these have the emissions. Part content is very useful if you need to report how much of different chemicals or different recycled material do I have in my products. So here I also need to create a few different, it could be chemicals, packaging, renewed or virgin raisins and so on. And then I do some different settings for that. I can also add who is my demander. Could be NRES, for Malaysia, could be REACH, whatever regulations. And this can then be used in different reports later. So let's say I have my bomber routing, I have my products. So now I have my chair here. Now I use one part number. I could run for all my manufactured items in my system if I want in one shot. But let's run for the chair. Seems like my MOQ was 70 pieces, so let's use that. I run my calculation, and the system will tell me that total emission for this chair is 91.51 kilograms of CO2 per piece. Then I have the breakdown. Out of that, I have the material, I have the upstream transportation, I have the operations, meaning the processes, I have other operation emissions. So my total operation emissions is this. I didn't have any subcontractor for this product. I didn't add in any overheads, it seems like. So I can go more detail if I want to see what emissions do I have per material. I had a few different screws. I had a few different leather. I can see what is the emissions for my assembly, what is the emissions for my bending, and so on. I also get the summary of the emissions from my processes. So I had assembly and bending. Seems in this case my assembly was higher emissions. And I have by supplier. Can be good to know who is the most causing emission supplier, and so on. I can also print documents, and this I think is very strong if you can show your customers in Europe that ask for this information. It will give you a very strong competitive advantage compared to other of your competitors that also try to sell to these customers, because most companies in Malaysia don't have this at the moment. Most likely some Excel manual calculation. So I hope you understand the concept there. Furthermore, if I create a quotation, let's say a customer in Sweden or Germany ask me to quote them for some products. I take my share. I want to sell 100 shares maybe for 100 each. Since we have all the emission data, we can print it on all kind of documents as well. So you have your share, 100 pieces, the price. At the same time, we can print the total emissions. This also gives a very good impression if you can show that on your quotations already. Of course, we can print it on sales orders, invoices, labels, transport labels, everything. So there are a few different ways to collect the emissions, because not all are related to your production. For example, if you buy IT or hardware, or if you get hotel claims from your salespeople, this also need to be included in your Scope 3 emission reporting. Using the basic data, as I showed, linked to raw material, linked to processes, to your BOM and routing and part numbers, you get it automatically. But you can also, if I'm a finance person here now, I register a voucher. So let's say I have hotel claim from my sales guy. Have been in, now it's Swedish crowns, but it doesn't matter. It cost 500 ringgit. You can link your accounts to different type of, as I showed in the basic data earlier. These ones, basic data. So, for example, Hotel Malaysia is linked to certain emission already in my system. And these are standard things that you can find in different registers. So when I register 500 ringgit, the system will automatically book how much emissions, because for hotel nights is linked to the cost. And this goes straight into your, or you get the ability to create very nice reports later on, and it books into your Scope 3. Same goes when I get the supplier invoice maybe. Some suppliers start to show on your invoices. So if I buy, sorry, I need to remove this one. So I don't have the scanned picture. Okay, I buy something from a supplier here. So now I'm also a finance person, register a supplier invoice. Same here, if it's IT hardware maybe, which is also linked. 10,000 was a computer. It will also directly book CO2 emissions for me.
Daniel,
yeah.
sorry, to interrupt. Can you wrap up in 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
So yeah, there are, in a very simple way, you can start to collect and report your emissions. And for all of you using our system already, please start to look into it, because all functionality is there and it's very easy to get started. Some of our customers in Malaysia already have started, but I think we together in MPMA could do great things together if we look at it. So for example, here now I have my Scope 1, 2, 3. I can have budgets for it. I can see in real time how I do compared to my budget. So for example, when I booked hotel nights and so on, it will directly book into these kind of reports. Mr. Francis say I have 3 more minutes now then maybe. If I jump back to the slides to ramp up.
3 minutes, yeah, thanks.
You can see my slide?
Yes, can, Daniel.
Yeah, okay. So of course, to present the data, now it was quite maybe detailed down on basic data and so on. But in our BI, you can make, and there are existing reports that gives you real-time, very good data, and you can create your own reports. So here I could in real time see different information related to my emissions. Could be by supplier, by part number, by country. Could be also my total emission versus my sales, to see that my total emissions hopefully should reduce but it's of course related to my sales as well. But these kind of views are very good to see where you should focus. This one I like. Here I can see of my total emissions, how much is material, how much comes from overhead, how much comes from transportation. And this gives me the possibility to focus in the right place. I can also throw in forecasts into the system, and the system tells me, based on your forecast, what will be the top emission products next year, or most raw material emission next year. There, perfect on time, Francis, right? So if you are interested to learn more, just contact us. Go to our website or call us, or I think you know how to do that already if you're our customer. So yeah, look into this and stay competitive, especially if you do export. But slowly, I think it comes even for local. The bigger, if you're a supplier to the bigger companies in Malaysia, I think also start to require more and more into this. So it's better to be a bit prepared. So that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel, for that clear and practical look at how the ERP systems can support sustainability and compliance across manufacturing. I, being a person that heavily involved in sustainability, especially when it comes to reporting and all, I can tell that such a system that has been shared by Mr. Daniel actually really helpful, because as you also may know, this is not only if you are exporting it to overseas, for all the public listed company, there is now a new requirement where you would have to provide reporting based on IFRS S1 and IFRS S2. And depending on where you are in the group, if you are in the major market, you would have to start doing your report submission by end of this year. So a good system would surely helps you to find very accurate data in submitting your scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. Let's see whether do we have any questions coming from participants or not. So far, we do not have any questions coming in. Okay, so in that case, I'll be the one that going to be asking Mr. Daniel, based on my own true experience as well. I think the biggest challenge is basically collecting the scope 3 data. I think Mr. Daniel actually truly agree with me, and the easiest one would be a scope 2 because it's a purchase electricity. So in scope 1, we have the category 1, which is the purchase good. And you do mention using your ERP systems, by having this, you will be able to basically look at total emission based on every material that you put into your BOM. I noticed that you already have a product carbon footprint for every parts. That has been a very much a challenge, because if you were to ask product carbon footprint from your supplier, some of them may not be able to provide because they are also not ready in terms of preparing their own product carbon footprint. So how do you capture the data on every product that you put it in your menu? So that example for screw, the carbon footprint example 5 TCO E2. So, and the second question is, those data, does it get validated and verified? Because at the end of the day, when I come up with my total emission for my product, it's also going to get validated by another third-party company. So the question is, how do you get your raw data on your material product carbon footprint? That's my questions.
Yeah. So our customers, as you say, they must find the emission factor from somewhere. If you're lucky, your supplier would give it to you, but still I would say most suppliers in Malaysia, they would not give you the emissions on your purchase. So there are many different databases and sources that you can download and use, which are, certified and so on. There are some big databases used around the world that have the emissions for different type of products and very detailed, and it becomes better and better, I would say. So you can search there for example, PP or a different kind of resin categories, and that database would have the emissions. So in the system, you would then tell where did you find this, what is the source for your emission factor? Because when you get audited or when your customer asks you, you must be able to provide where did you find the data. Then if it is accurate or not, that is still okay. Number one is you need to be able to provide where did you find the data. So of course you should try to find the good sources. You can also, we have something called reliability index, because those items where you're 100% sure, there you can put 1. So in this way we can also show in different reports, because there will be material that you are not that certain if the information is correct or not. But that is okay, even when in audits, as long as you can show and prove how you calculated it. So yes, there is some work with this, but we can help you with, or we can recommend different sources, but it's still our customers' responsibility to take care of this and make sure we put in quite or as reliable emission factors as possible. Was that just one question? What was your other question? What was it combined?
I think it's combined, and basically you have answered it both in one answer. We do have questions coming in from the participants. The first question is coming in from Mr. Wilson Kanan. I'm not so sure you would be able to actually answer these questions or not.
Yeah.
Because it's basically a questions comparing between your Monitor ERP software versus LCA Ecodex.
Okay. I don't know that software, or not detailed enough. But I think if we do a comparison in general, I think thanks to our system, Sweden, I think why we are so strong in sustainability is because Sweden was in the forefront in this kind of calculations for manufacturing companies. So this is developed based on the requirements from our customers in Sweden, which is very far in this. And Monitor is a manufacturing focused ERP, which makes it, I would say, very easy to calculate down on product level and do all the scope 3, since manufacturing is the main part in the whole system. Other ERP systems that maybe are not that focused on manufacturing cannot come detailed enough in the BOM and routing and so on, which means they cannot calculate accurate enough emissions on your manufactured items. And it's not built in the whole MES part where you report down on the shop floor, on the material level. You can even have on batch level the emissions. So I think the whole system, since it's manufacturing focused, makes it easy for manufacturing companies to do this kind of calculations. Maybe in other systems, if you have a separate MES or separate warehouse system or something, it's very difficult to get it together. Here you have all the data in one system. So I think that's the main advantage that we see compared to other ERP. But I'm not I'm not good enough in other systems to say exactly how we compare, but
Okay. The next question is coming from Mr. BK Chong. The question from Mr. BK is, he would like to know the emission factor is compliance to which standard?
yeah, we follow. Wait, I would say it's a combination, and the calculations are. Hold on, if I jump back. You can see my slides there, right?
Yeah.
For Sweden and Europe, it's basically this one. So first of all, you have the CSRD, which is the reporting directive, and then you have the ESRS, which is the reporting standards, because you must have the transparency and the data and the reporting must be in a certain format and so on. So in Europe, that is the ESRS. And then, of course, it's the greenhouse gas protocol. I don't know if that answer, but
Yeah.
reporting wise, I think the output and what the data you need for certain reports in Malaysia, let's say, compared to reports in Sweden, that's the minor part, because the data is already in the system for manufacturing parts. It cannot be many different data. It's just the presentation and what kind of information different authorities need. So that we can easily make.
Yep. I think if the question is specific to emission factor itself, globally, we would follow the GHG protocol standards. If we are talking about the emission factor itself, when it comes to the reporting standards, there's a lot of reporting standards that are out there, and I think depending on who's the client that are asking for.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So then we build different reports the more we run into different standards in different countries.
Correct.
So, but the foundation is there. So I would say it's easy to build the reports as long as the data is there.
Yep. And the final questions that we have coming in from Mr. Rosdan. Mr. Rosdan is from Highcom Diecasting. The question from Mr. Rosdan is, he would like to check if there is anyone in the Monitor ERP system team who is an expert in this module. He needs some guidance for training and system setup for Highcom Diecastings. I would assume
sure. We can arrange that. We will contact you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I assume they're already using Monitor ERP systems now.
Yeah, correct.
With that kind of, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that will be the end of the second session, second topic. Next will be the final topic that's going to be presented by Mr. Leong Yong Jian on the title of Sustainable Plastics and Color Management Leveraging Spectrophotometry for a Greener Future. Mr. Leong holds a bachelor degree in physics and master degree in material science. And he brings over 8 years of experience in technical sales and capital equipment solutions. He is known for bridging deep technical knowledge with commercial insight, helping industries to adopt advanced technologies that enhance quality, efficiency, and stability. Let's welcome Mr. Leong.
Hi.
Mr. Leong, it's yours.
Yeah, everyone can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good mornings, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Zamri, for the introductions and brief and shorts of myself. And also, I would like to thank you to MPMA for hosting these events. I think it's a very fruitful sections for all the plastics makers regarding on the trends and also the market info. So let me share my screen now for my presentations. You can see my screen, right? Everything's okay?
All good.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, once again, I'm from Data Color. You can call me YJ. I'm actually the person in charge to take over Malaysia's and Singapore. Well, this is a slide that big impact for the sustainables futures. I believe this sustainables words is not a strange terms for everyone since it happens, I think few years, many backs ago. I think during I started working on 2016, and I think the sustainable words it came out, but they might not be that aggressive on the terms. But I believe after MCO, this sustainables, this strategies is actually more and more promising and more coming out in the market. Everything. Oh, this is just a brief, some introductions or some brief ideas on how the global plastics challenges on this. Basically, global plastic challenges come across with a few factors. Well, the urbanization, which is where a lot of people start to move from rural countries, rural areas, to more advanced or more urbans, that will create more developments on the city of site. And next, there's a lot of investors coming into Malaysia's or into the countries that actually set up the factories, set up a lot of manufacturing site that will actually boost the opportunities people's working in the country. And because of this boosting, urbanization and industrialization boosting the economic growth on their side, and people will start to have more and more economic power or spending power, and the lifestyle it change. So all these factors actually it integrate and actually contribute to what we call not say what we call it contribute to the plastics waste, something like contribute up. And the global plastic waste management market size in 2025 estimated around USD 39.58 billions, and is expected to hit more, around 54 or 55 billions by 2034. Well, you have these waste managements. The next thing you came across is how do we actually manage this waste management? And there's a lot of recycling campaigns, a lot of recycling bodies, recyclers, they start to promote an awareness. I think recycling, this is not it's not a strange, and it happened many years ago as well, since I'm primary school as well. I have been hearing this recycling on this part. And of course, the awareness, we are trying to improve it, boosting the awareness. And of course, less than 15% of the plastic packaging waste collected for recycling, but still a huge amount leaks into the environments. Now that comes is to why sustainability matters. Well, for me, I'll separate into two terms. Sustainability can be into sustain and ability. One is verbs, one is nouns. Sustain means you have to continue to do something else, continue to preserve something, and ability is some kind of a skill set or is an actions as well for you to really continue. And both when emerge together, sustainability is a long-term and continuous effect, and it requires actions to continue all this. In a layman term, we call sustainability basically it balances the protections, environmental protection, social equity, economical viability to present the need without promising the future. And of course, ESG is work with recycling by incorporating the waste management and resources efficiency into the company's sustainability strategy, which we can hear from in the market. Our government also try to implement and enforce all the sustainability strategies, which can help to reduce environmental impact and improve also financial performance. And that's where it comes to my title today, more towards to how sustainable plastic and color management helps you by using the spectrophotometer for a greener future. Okay, so I believe here are all the plastics experience makers all, but you will think about, is it color affecting the plastic recycling? Our plastic industry quite complex and product very widely. So recycled plastic actually can be also different properties. It can be opaque, it can be transparent, high gloss, or different pearlescent surface. And it range from different, from resin to pellet to finished manufactured good, maybe such as toys or tools. Well, you surprisingly found that study found using the same colors of all the time can make 80% more likely to remember a brand. This, it came to my mind, is very simple example is Coca-Cola. We know Coca-Cola, and I think mostly we drink Coca-Cola during our primary school or secondary school time, or even though now. Coca-Cola, the represent is the red color. So the red color is actually some kind of a psychology or a brands where we think about red color, maybe in your mind it came into is Coca-Cola already. So this is what it some kind of repeating the same color all time can actually brandings on all the colors on this side. And also 93% buyer, they focus on visuals appearance, and close to 85% claim color is primary reasons when they make a purchase. So not surprisingly, color is a key player in the quality perception games. Well, talking to recyclings, so there are a lot of recycling techniques. I think the one of the most common recycling method is a mechanical recycling, that the recycler sort the plastics depending on their type, shape, density, size, and color. And once the material are sorted, washed, grounded, they are melted into pellet for caramelization. And this is, I think, it's not easy for us to see this phenomenon that a lot of different plastics or different color recycled plastic, they actually combine or put into some places to do all things. And plastic of all colors mixed in the mechanical recyclings, because just like color theory, when you mix all tones together, you obtain black. But the same, this is happened, and we obtain the post-consumer recycle from maybe a darker or a darker tonality, we call PCR, post-consumer recycler. Properties may differ across polymer, so this is what also some challenge. I would say one of a few common recycled plastic industry color challenge. So I believe this will come across also quality, which is we try to maintain the quality without sacrificing the cost. And we try to maintain the cost without sacrificing the quality. So both ways are interrelated. And talk about speed means you are able to actually doing the speed or develop the things faster without also spending more money and maintain the quality as well. And sustainability is we are trying to because once you're trying a lot of materials, a lot of trial, then you tend to having a material wastage. Then your sustainability is also how you're going to maintain your sustainability. I'll summarize a few in the tables of the challenges, root cause, and some impacts. So first is the raw material variety. This is a challenges for the recyclers, because when you receive the recycle or the plastic, everything, they actually consist of different kind of materials variety. And what is the root cause is because it's actually makes a post-consumer or post-industrial context. Actually, this is gathered from commercial market, because the designers, they want to attract or give something different or try and do some innovation, and that what will lead to the manufacturers, they try to do something also and with a lower cost. And what is the impact is that because of the raw material variety, you will have color shift, or you have more and more work to actually rework the whole color matching. And to do this color matching, it requires a certain skill set or experience to do all these colors tuning or adjustment. Next, unpredictable color behavior. So why there is unpredictable color behavior coming out? Well, because of the raw material variety as well. You have a non-linear pigment polymer interactions. You have different variants of polymers, variety of polymers. You mix together, you have a different chemical reaction. So this is what it will make a very difficult and challenges for the makers to actually get the colors matching accurately. Next, there will be a trial and error formulations. That means because you have a lot of different raw mat that will actually cause a difference, a color shift, or all this accurate matching. That's why you need to try a lot of time. Then that is a manual adjustment process, which will take more time and more cost for you. Human perceptions limit, well, this is depend on the human eye because we judge the color sometimes is by visual dependence, visual assessments. So the way I see and the way you see is different, and different batches of operators, they have a different visuals assessment or visuals inspection on that part, and this will give to inconsistent result. Poor traceability, so that means because usually as I encounter most of color matchings, when they're using color matching or they had to do the color formulations, they were manually recording down all, and then the traceability might not be there. It's a manual record, and if let's say they lost it, then how are you going to reproduce the result again? So you don't have a traceability, then your reproducibility and repeatability might not be there as well. So this is challenges. And of course, the important one is the sustainability loss, which is because you need to try a lot of times, then you have a material wastage on that part. And this will lead to a higher carbon footprint and all this. So the green action plans is that by implementing a color management solutions, you actually have a better way to manage your qualities or manage the overall products. You have a traceability, you have advanced recycling that improves the chances of achieving consistent color output in recycled plastic. No matter upstream design or you have a downstream processing, actually when you have productions, both will actually affect their final appearance. That actually it considers the recycled content will have strong value. The color management solutions is quite important for the makers that to align across all the line, the production plants, everything, including the lab as well. Now, what is color management solutions in the mindset is basically you need a machines, tools, you need a software, and then you need a PC that actually you measure sample, then you digitalize the color into a data that you can synchronize across all the platform, all the party, across all the supply chain, so that you can consistently produce your color output. This in the recycled plastics. This is just a quick one. That means that you have the samples, then you have the machines itself and the software, and you capture the result using the spectrophotometers, or capture the sample using the spectrophotometers, and then transfer into the software. Then you capture the value. Usually we use the CLAB, LAB, CH, chromacity, and hue 5, and sometimes you will be using the delta E for you to do the color differences to check all this. So this is definitely a simple way. It's just a portable, put at the table or put at the plant that side, and then you can just operate and you can measure time by time. And the quick measurement time is less than, I think, 5 seconds to 10 seconds it will take. Then you can capture the result, everything. Then you will actually save inside your software, and you have a traceability there, and you can have the historical record to further understand more on the result. Now, this is where you formulate existing, and you measure the accuracy, and you go to optimize and correct. It's a repeat process. Search, match, optimize, and correct it. So, but what will make the difference on this part? Because I believe you take a lot of time also circling out. You might also try a lot of errors, right? But there is a smart match algorithm inside the software that helps you to make it more humanized, and then you can actually have increase your first shot matches. You can also optimize your ingredients formulas. You can also reduce your ingredient waste, and then shorter development time on it. Now, definitely this one, it will increase your productivity okay, at least 50% matching speed, because you have the software now and you try to run, and then you are just like maybe 3 times or 4 times you may get the result, instead of last time you might try 10 times and you get a lot of errors, then the material wastage is there. This would really quite hard for the makers, that they need to balance between the cost and also the time. The next, you will also, if you're having the software, you can improve the match quality with a flexible matching option. So inside the software, you have you can input the different raw material supplier and with the pricing as well, so that you can monitor the pricing inside, and then you can adjust accordingly. Because I believe time to time, there will be, it will help you to have a cost down solutions as well. And then you can actually monitor it from there using the software. And also last, there will be an ease of use with new user interface, which is more user-friendly for the customer side. Now, what makes the match technology so smart on that part? Well, this is where I believe maybe in your mindset, you might also already can guess it, what makes it. This is the power of artificial intelligence is behind. There is a AI modeling inside the AI modeling and algorithm inside the software that helps you to actually to humanize the result. So basically, this match technologies, it compares the theoretical recipe and with the real world recipe, then it identifies a systematic discrepancy between the two. So this is where using the algorithm, it will give you a difference, more humanized. I would say, okay, it should be say the more data you actually input inside the system, the more data you measure it, well, the more humanized the data and the result for you. So this is where it's something, it correct the features as well, and it actually close the gap, and you can also achieve the lowest possible the color difference between the samples or between the batches or the production side, yeah, without adding additional colorants or resorting or the time intensive manual color adjustment. So this is the wonderful, I would say, the wonderful of the artificial intelligence. This is also one of our customers. They doing using the smart match features. They're showing you that no smart match and with smart match, color match per week. If let's say no suspect, they have 1,000 plus. I believe it's 1,000 plus color match per week, and there is a lot of number of lab resources required or the person, and then one person it might also takes very long time. The working hours per resources, yeah, it takes about 20 hours with the 60 hours with the 20 hours overtime. Well, with the smart match, you can actually have more color matching per week, 1,005 plus maybe, and with a reduce of lab resources required only about 6, and the working hour resources is only about 40. So by comparing of these both, you will see that the technologics or the algorithm itself that really helps the maker to save the time, and then you save your costs for your productions, and also your lab person or everyone, they have a time to actually enhance their skills or do something different or develop their skill set to actually bring in more productivity on their work. So in another way to say, you can actually, they have more knowledge, and then they will implement a new product to the market, and then they do the market faster. So this is where some things is quite balanced, I think, for both. For the workers and for the employer. So this is where something good things, and that's why we can perform fewer color corrections on the part, and fewer color correction lead to less cost and also less time. Well, this is a couple of last slide of my presentation. So just to highlight to you that building an effective color management systems will help you. Very important part is communicate effectively. Well, we know communications is sometimes, even though human and human communicate, sometimes we do have some communications or misalignments, everything, but communicate effectively is very important, especially you are controlling all the things and it actually synchronize across all the productions. You're having the same information so that you can make the decisions quickly, no matter where your teams are in the production or in the lab or different country as well. You're going to achieve the consistency of the result. That means that if you have the color measure system, you have a SOP there, a system way to do it, you have a greater chance of getting it right at the first time. Now, this is where definitely you can achieve the consistency and produce to match your master sample color. Shorten the time to the market while you have a very well established or effective system that actually you can match the product or deliver very on time. You can produce your products on time, everything, and ship out without further delays. Or this will actually, it will lead to why it will happen, because the decision making is not that firm, and that's why it will actually causing the delay of the production or delay of the product, everything. But you have a system, you definitely shorten the time to the market. And this is very important as well. Formulate a precise color throughout the whole lab or productions. If you have the right program at place, then you can formulate or reformulate with very very easy, while you are basing the recipe on specific quality and specific properties. So these are some of the, obviously the highlight or the key that actually these 4 things is very important. It will lead to you have having an effective color management system. Now, this is upcoming a few slides. It's just a company for my big introductions, then who we are for the data colors. Our slogans, we get the colors right for the customer. We measure, communicate, formulate, control, and integrate into all the plant and across all the supply chains, so that you are able to align properly and you get at the same page, communications effectively, everything. This is our global reach for local support. And as well, we are the US-based companies. We're HQ at US. And our manufacturing plants is actually at the China, Suzhou there. You can see that in here, you didn't see Malaysia and Singapore. Basically, we are work from home. We don't have a register. We don't have a registered entity in Malaysia and Singapore. So we are actually reporting to the Hong Kong of the site. This is a sharing of my lovely team for Malaysia and Singapore. Basically, we have a sales team, we have a service, and we also have a technical. So some you might think that because we don't have a registered entity or we don't have an office in Malaysia, that you might concern about the after sales services. But no worry, this is where our structure is. We have a technical support across the region and also across, the whole Malaysia and Singapore. Our separation is 2 people based in Penang and then 2 people in Johor, and I'm actually based in the central side. So this is all the information I have. Then that's all for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, YJ, for that detailed and insightful presentation on how color management plays a role in sustainability. Let's take a look whether we got any questions coming in from the participants. So far, we do not see any questions posted by the participants. Let me ask you a question. Your color matching systems today that you have, is it an offline system or is it an online system?
Okay. What do you mean by online and offline?
Offline is you do color matching on a lab scale basis, or do you put it on a machine? Example, the reason I'm asking this question, example, let's say you are doing recycling. You are actually collecting a lot of material out there from the market. You have a different colors as your raw material before you recycle them. Would you be able to have an online system that separate out different colors before you recycle them? That's the basis of my questions.
Okay. For our solutions, it's more towards to the offline matching systems. Yeah. We don't have real time because real times, of course, you need a production, then you put the scanner, everything scanned, and then you transfer straight away to the system inside. But we don't have these solutions for at this moment, but we are doing more towards the offline. That means that it's a lab scale. So going to the lab, they try, and then after that, they have the formulations, then they will send it to the production and adjust the formula accordingly to the needs, and then they feedback to the lab. So this is our offline. We are more towards to the offline color matching system. Yeah.
I see. Okay. We have no questions. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings up to the end of our session. Again, thank you to all our presenters for sharing their expertise. And thank you to all the participants for staying engaged throughout the session. So now I would like to pass back the floor back to our MC, Ms. Sujata. Sujata, that's yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Zamri. Before we close, we'll be conducting a quick poll. Can I ask Mr. Leong to stop sharing his screen so that we can do the poll? Thank you.
Sure.
So before we close, we'll be conducting a quick poll. Just stay with us for a moment. It will just take less than 2 minutes for you to respond. So can we have the poll up, please? It's not seeing the poll. Okay. We have a poll. I think we have about close to 70 people in the room today. So can we have the participants to take the poll? It's just 5 questions. And then once we do the poll, we can end the session. Please don't log out first. Please continue to take the poll. And then we have just a short announcement before we wrap up for the day. So while you're taking the poll, I just want to thank all the speakers again and all the participants who participated in today's session. Today's session's title was Green Technologies and Recycling Innovation. Just an announcement to join us again on Tuesday, the 25th of November for the next session, which is entitled Next Gen Blown Film Solutions. So we look forward to welcoming all of you back for more valuable knowledge from our speakers. In case you do not know, all the sessions are available on the MPMA website. So if you go to the MPMA website at www.mpma.org.my and you click the MPMA Plastech Month 2025 tab, you'll be able to view all our sessions. Subsequently, we will be also loading all the recordings for all sessions on our webpage. So you'll be able to see the YouTube links for all our sessions. So we have 39 participants who has responded. Can we just have a few more before we end today? Just a few more respondents. Hoping to have at least 70% respondents so that, it's a good number to do any evaluation. Okay, I think we have now 75% participants who have responded to the poll. I just want to thank you all. Encik Zamridin, many thanks for moderating the session. It was very good. You prepared yourself so well and had all that questions, in place before the participants could, post their questions in the Q&A box. Mr. Leong, thank you so much. Mr. Hikmak, thank you so much. And lastly, Mr. Bongas, I'm not sure if he's in the room, but if you're in the room, thank you so much for supporting MPMA. Thank you so much for giving our members so much of valuable knowledge and information through your presentations. We really appreciate and hope to collaborate with all of you again in future. Thank you very much, and we'll be ending today's session. Thank you and have a very nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.